we've had the most rain in history. Look, people talk, we have used the rainy day fund, by the way. We've used the rainy day fund the past few years to augment the pension fund because of the losses, because of the market. And we are required by charter, unlike other cities or even the federal government, to fund these budgets correctly, actuarially. So we have gone into the rainy day fund to fund the pension fund to keep the taxpayers low. But you also have to be careful of that. Because if you start dipping into the rainy day fund all the time, it affects your AAA bond rating, it affects how the rating agencies look at you, and when you go on the market for municipal bonds, that affects your credit rating. And many people may poo-poo that, but I try to use the example of stating that if you have the choice between a 7% mortgage and a 4% mortgage, you'll take the 4% because the difference is quite significant. It's the same in the municipal bond rating and market. When you go out there, if you have 3 AAA ratings and you have a secure rainy day fund, instead of paying 5.5%, 6%, we now, our last few floats have been 3 to 3 1/3 or 3.5. So it's judgmental, it's balanced. Yes, you want to make sure that our taxpayers are not overtaxed, but also to provide the services and to ensure that when you do go into the rainy day fund, it's the proper use. And that's what we've done, and that's what we've tried to do.
Thank you. Mr. Garfunkel?
The rainy day fund is specifically called that to be used only under occurrences that it might be needed. There may be times that we do need to dip into this rainy day fund to help our capital budget, to help move along the infrastructure problems that we're having. You know, if we let the roads deteriorate to a certain extent, they are beyond repairable, and we need to spend a lot more money to resurface them, which means digging them up starting from scratch. If we let them go too long because of budgetary reasons, we're going to be jeopardizing our AAA bond rating because we don't have we don't have the stability of the city that we may be having to spend this money because we have to rip up thousands of miles of roads or hundreds of miles of roads in Norwalk. We have to look very closely about how we use the rainy day fund, and it is there specifically to be a buffer and to also have enough money in our coffers so that we can establish ourselves to get better rates when we do go out for loans. But again, that rainy day fund should be looked at closely, that possibly we need to use this, and it doesn't hurt us once in a while to possibly have a AA rating just for a period of time to build ourselves back up to have the stability of the city.
Mr. Moccia?
Well, first of all, you cannot use the rainy day fund for capital expenses. That's what you float your bonds for. The rainy day fund can be for operational. Secondly, I will tell you that the difference between a AAA and AA could be 20 to 25 basis points. And incidentally, we have 258 miles of road, not thousands. And in the last 3 years out of the capital budget, we have appropriated $14 million to repair our roads, plus $1.9 million from the TARP funds from the stimulus package, which repaved Seaview Avenue, Martin Luther King Drive, and several other streets in town. So again, to say that a AA would help is not right. Secondly, you cannot use the rainy day fund for capital expenses.
Mr. Garfunkel?